Hello, dear students. Let's continue our distant education. How are you today? What day is it today? What's the weather like today? What film did you watch? What are you interested in? What about Mythbusters? Yes, today the topic of our lesson is Mythbusters. And our lesson objectives are to listen and to read the text Mythbusters to identify the main idea and find true facts, or maybe false facts. So, and the second objective is to use key words. Please, let's start. Today at the lesson we work with two pages, 12 and 13. Let's start with the first task. Match the terms you see in the first column to a description, the second column, of what they study. So I give you 1 minute. Let's start. So if you need more time, you can click stop and do this task. And now we are going to check. Are you ready? So the first, I suppose, is matter and energy. The second is the inherent characteristics of living things. Number 3, numbers, shapes and space. Number 4, planets, the universe and space. Do you agree with me? Number 5, the characteristic of substances and how they react. Number 6, I suppose C, the human mind. No, I don't think that it's C. Yes, maybe the 7th C. So, and biologist is G, all natural life, and the last, the Earth's surface. So let's check. Great job. Do you have any mistakes? Super. Let's listen and repeat.
A physicist studies matter and energy.
A geneticist studies the inherited characteristics of living things.
A mathematician studies numbers, shapes and space.
An astronomer studies planets, the universe and space.
A chemist studies the characteristics of substances and how they react.
A biologist studies all natural life.
A psychologist studies the human mind and the way it works.
A geologist studies the Earth's surface.
Great job. Let's continue. Exercise 1b. Boys, girls, which job seemed the most interesting to you? Share your ideas. And now let's listen this one.
I think being an astronomer is the most interesting because there is so much we don't know about planets, the universe and space, and finding out more about them would be very exciting and interesting.
Share your ideas, write down some sentences in your copybooks and send them to me. I am waiting for your opinion. So, and as usual, we are going to work with our new keywords and phrases. Please open your dictionaries. Write down, please, Model 1 1C Mythbusters. Listen, write down, and repeat. Ready?
Anecdote, anecdote.
Billion, billion.
Brain scan, brain scan.
Breathe, breathe.
Come from, come from.
Come up with, come up with.
Genius, genius. Image, image.
Mental, mental. Misinformation, misinformation. Misunderstand, misunderstand. Myth, myth. Mythbuster, mythbuster. Neuron, neuron.
Observe, observe.
Out of the blue, out of the blue. Physical, physical.
Repeat, repeat.
Resources, resources.
Separate, separate.
Struggle, struggle.
Theory, theory. Vote, vote. Widely, widely.
Thank you very much. Learn these words and phrases by heart and try to use them in your speech. So, and now, please, exercise 2. Read the subheadings. Yeah? A, B, and C. Do you think they are true? Let's listen.
I think none of the sentences are true because the title of the text is Mythbusters.
What about your prediction? Okay, so and now please let's work with the text, Miss Barstes. Listen and read to find out. Please, let's start.
Mythbusters. Science helps us understand the world around us, but there's a lot of misinformation out there. It can be difficult separating science fact from science fiction. Here are a few science myths that are simply not true. Einstein failed maths. Albert Einstein is perhaps the most famous physicist ever, and he is widely considered to be a genius. His theory of relativity changed the way we think about the universe, and in 1921, he won the Nobel Prize for Physics. At the end of the 20th century, Time magazine voted him Person of the Century. Unfortunately, a lot of people believed that he struggled at maths. What is true is that when he was young, he failed a university entrance exam because his mark wasn't high enough. He didn't fail the maths or physics sections, though. In fact, his marks in those sections were excellent, but he didn't do well at French, chemistry, and biology. It seems that not even geniuses are perfect. We only use 10% of our brains. Your brain weighs just 1.5 kilograms, about 2% of your body's weight, but uses around 20% of the oxygen you breathe. It contains billions of neurons that are constantly sending and receiving information. Yet people still say that you only use 1/10 of it. This myth possibly comes from William James, a psychologist. In 1908, he claimed that we are making use of only a small part of our possible mental and physical resources. Journalists may have misunderstood him, and the 10% myth was born. If we take a brain scan, though, we see that we use all the parts of our brains, just not at the same time. So whoever repeats this myth is certainly not using enough of theirs. An apple fell on Newton's head. Here's a myth that is almost true. Sir Isaac Newton, the 17th century mathematician, astronomer, and physicist, was sitting under an apple tree in his garden. Out of the blue, an apple fell on his head, and he immediately came up with the theory of gravity. It is one of the most famous images in the history of science, but it might not have happened. Documents written at the time suggest that Newton did come up with his theory from observing falling apples, but one probably did not hit him on the head. It's possible that Sir Isaac was the one who invented the story, because, let's be honest, it is a great anecdote.
So, boys and girls, what information have you known? Is it interesting? So, and now you need to read this text once more, and after that, pay attention to your lesson plan. Here you can find a Google link with these tasks. The first is read the article again and choose the correct answer A, B, C, or D. The second task is to make the words in bold in the article to their antonyms. And the last is fill in with the words road, struggles, calm, breathe, and observing. When you finish your task, please don't forget to click the button Send. I'm waiting for your results. And please pay attention to the part of reflection. Now, can you listen and read the text about Mythbusters to identify the main idea and true facts? How many words can you use? Keywords. Thank you very much for our distant lesson. If you have any questions or any problems, please contact with me. You know that I am ready to help you. Thank you. I wish you a good day. Goodbye, my dear students.